Today I would like to ask your help with a marital dilemma, especially with regard to don't give a rip about what other people think, disregard the opinions of others, etc. And as I preside now over the sad but liberating ending of my fourth marriage, I'm wondering if you could help me get some insight into what is obviously a pattern, and there are going to be some unresolved, those loose ends that you never can quite tie up, because the relationship will go on for the rest of my life, whether I want it to or not, in an emotional sense.
Oh, not just this life. Relationships are eternal.
Yes, exactly. So
you've been married to all of these quite a few times.
Yes, I'm sure. But I realized one thing, that as
exponential trouble.
The what?
Causing exponential trouble.
The exponential curve has been continues to curve. Yes. I noticed something, that as I try to make this dissolution as honorable and loving and affectionate as possible, which of course it never is, but as I try to do that, I noticed that all four marriages ended for the same reason, but they also began for the same reason. This being tapped in, turned on, and tuned in thing about myself, making me a little crazy, a little, what'd you say yesterday, psychiatrically imbalanced, on the manic side of life, being the hustler, and all of which has served me tremendously well in terms of professional success and self-satisfaction and self-love. But and it attracted those wives to me. No question about it. They love the guy's a fast about it. He can get anything done. He's very exciting. What an exciting man. But 4 or 5 years later, those same attributes were a source of horrible aggravation on a one-to-one basis. And it's been the same in every case. I know that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. But I'm sure I'll go and get married again. And the same thing will happen all over. And I would like to avoid that, or do something on a higher frequency.
But we can give you a very simple answer, whether you will hear it or not.
Yes,
you will hear it, because this will make perfect sense to you, knowing what you now know about law of attraction. So think of yourself as one of the strongest word vibration matches that we felt from you just now was when you talked about the exhilarating sensation of freedom coupled with sadness, but this sensation of freedom or liberation in the releasing of this bondage of marriage. And we want to say to you that is the most dominant vibration that is within you, is that sensation of freedom. But also, it is the most dominant vibration within everyone, although it is latent within many people. In other words, everyone wants to be free, but there are not that many people who really know it consciously and work every day in order to achieve it. So most people come together in relationships more on an action basis. In other words, they see you, they feel your power, they see your status, they see your lifestyle, they see your bank account, they see the well-being that you've amassed, and they see themselves as benefiting by hooking up with that. And on an action basis, someone who's not a vibrational match to that can walk their way into your experience, and you can allow them into your experience as you are using other things as your criteria. In other words, they are beautiful, they are lovely to be with, they are sweet to see and smell and touch, and on and on. And so as you are using these different criteria as your basis for coming together, then because you are vibrationally not a match, it cannot be maintained with any ease at all for any length of time. Where knowing what you now know, where you acknowledge that You are a being who loves freedom, and you begin contemplating mentally before you take the next action step in attracting another partner, the benefit of having someone of that same mindset who comes to you. Someone who loves to co-create with you, but who is also independently autonomous. Because when two autonomous people come together, then you can mix it up and have a very good time, but you don't fall apart when one goes the other way. When you give your attention to someone, they are all fluffed up by that attention, but then when you turn your attention to your work or to someone else or to something else, they feel like a puppet that someone has let go of the strings, and they hold you responsible because you're now not making me feel the way you once made me feel. Well, what you've got to decide is, I don't want to be responsible for how you feel. I'm going to find someone who already feels good, who already feels sure, who already feels sure-footed, who's already on top of the world. When two on top of the world people come together, there's an explosion of ecstasy beyond description. But when one is strong and one is weak, and sometimes people call that some sort of attraction. I'm strong and therefore I give the weak one what you need, and you're weak, therefore you let me take care of you. And we say it is such a sick relationship. Those never work out because they are fighting against law of attraction.
Yeah.
And so to stay together under those conditions is a very arduous experience. So what we're really saying to you is, get your ducks lined up vibrationally. Let it be an emotional journey for a while before you take action, and begin saying things to the universe such as, universe, I want a match to me. And what does that mean? It means, what does it mean?
A match in terms of energy level, I think.
Vibrational match. What does that mean?
To me?
What would a vibrational match to you be?
Someone who's really spontaneous and has an intensity of their sense of fun.
All right, so what you just said is someone who has already taken responsibility for how they feel, who is aware that they can focus this way and feel this way, or focus this way and feel this way, who has practiced being in alignment long before they come into my experience. They're not coming to learn alignment from me. They have already discovered alignment. What else?
Someone who does not care at all about what other people think.
All right, so that's someone who has come to understand that their own guidance system is what matters,
right,
and they are tending to that. So not only do they not care what other people think, they don't care what I think. Now, how's that going?
Right.
How's that going?
I love it.
How would that be? In other words, it's one thing. It's one thing to be someone who says, I don't give a rip what you think, but it's another thing to be on the other side of that with somebody saying to you, I don't give a rip what you think. And so that's really worth practicing. When somebody up close to you who lives with you says, I don't really care what you think, what you want to say right behind that is, it's good that what matters most to you is your own vibrational alignment.
Yeah.
Because we want you to understand that when someone close to you cares very much about their vibrational alignment, they will be nice to be with. They will be nice to be with. In other words, you want someone who cares about their connection more than about something outside of them.
Right.
What else?
Well, let me digress for a second, because it just occurred to me that one of the things I go through in this process is that, like right now, I still want her to approve of my crazy, wacky energy, which is what caused the dissolution of the marriage, the disapproval and the intolerance.
So let us see if we got this straight. You want someone who doesn't give a rip while you're giving a rip about them.
No, this is. I'm
you
talking
can't
about,
have it both ways, can you?
This was the current one. I'm faced with a little strange dichotomy, which I already kind of can think it through without wasting time with it. But it's just a matter of erasing it. But it's kind of curious that I still want the one who I'm divorcing. I still want her approval on some level, and I'm obviously not going to get it. But isn't that weird?
Well, it's really worth talking about. We don't think you're so different from almost anybody. So what you're saying is your feeling of well-being is somehow tied in with somebody else's opinion of you?
No.
Oh, you didn't say that?
I didn't mean that, and that's not true.
What did you mean?
there's a level, there's a little aggravation that recurrent that I guess does affect my well-being, but not on an ongoing dominant basis.
And
When the phone call comes and they say, I disapprove of you, then that bothers me at that moment. But then I take it better thought and raise the frequency.
all right, so if someone you did not know called you on the telephone and said, hello, you don't know me, I'm just calling to tell you I will never call you again, you would have no emotional response.
I don't think so.
Because there was no desire
Right.
that is being challenged. But when someone says to you, I disapprove of you, or I'm not going to call you again, and you feel that, what does that mean? What does that discomfort mean? It means you have a desire that this information is somehow challenging. So let's see if we can get to the heart of this. So the subject that you are addressing here is you believe that you need this person's approval, and you're wanting to figure out why this person's approval is important to you.
Well, 15 years of relationship, I thought I would have won her over by now, and so I guess there's a sense of failing. I didn't do it. I didn't quite do whatever the magic motions would have been. Nothing succeeded.
Well, here's the powerful sense of this that we get. For whatever reason, through the life that you have been living, you have remarkably managed to focus upon what you want and stay focused upon it until you achieve it. In other words, you learned mind control a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So without hearing words from Abraham, without hearing about the law of attraction, without understanding the science of deliberate creation, you were making your life work by using the power of the focus of your own mind.
Yes.
So as you then begin interacting with other people and you're able to maintain your well-being to a certain extent, and then one of the things that you begin to intend is that someone else appreciate you in whatever way you are
Sure.
choosing.
Yeah.
And you discover that you cannot control the behavior of another, because you were not approaching this from a standpoint of law of attraction, but instead you were approaching it from the idea of control or of mind control. It makes you feel like this is somehow your failing, like you should have been able to do something different to make somebody else feel differently than they do. And what we want you to begin doing is to say, law of attraction is the one who is managing this. Law of attraction is managing this. And what we're saying to you here is that your determination for freedom and your determination for positive alignment trumps your willingness to stand on your head in whatever ways you need to do to make somebody else happy. And the fact that somebody else needed you to stand upon their head and your unwillingness to do it because you have found your alignment doesn't make you having failed. It makes law of attraction sorting it all out and lining it up in a way that will really be better for all of you.